Hi guys, welcome back. This is going to be a new segment on our podcast. We're going to be highlighting cosplayers from all over the world that deserve a lot more love and recognition than we give them credit for. Alright, so without further ado, I am your host, Much Hotness Cosplay, and today we're going to have Will, or he also goes by Comic Man 315. So welcome, Will.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, no, thank you for coming on to the show. How's your day going?
My day's actually been going pretty good. We actually just finished celebrating my dad's birthday today.
Oh, nice.
So that was pretty fun.
Awesome. No, we love that. So you're just kind of winding down now and doing this podcast with us, right?
Yeah.
Good deal. Well, go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself.
So my name is Will Leonard. I'm a graduate of the University of New Orleans in film and theater. And actually, theater is how I got into cosplay because it was during the start of my second semester of high school, a group of friends asked me if I wanted to be part of an Adventure Time cosplay. So I was there in the group as Finn the Human, with my friends as Marceline, Princess Bubblegum, and Prince Gumball. And that was like my first real dip into cosplay.
Nice. How long ago was that?
That was in 2014.
Gotcha. It's crazy how much time has just flown by, huh?
Time is not a real thing.
Yeah.
It's like several lifetimes have gone by, and yet I'm only like 25. So
Yeah, we got a lot of living left to do in that case. So where can we find you at?
Instagram, Twitter under Comic Man 315. And I'm also on Hive if anyone uses that anymore.
Good deal. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure most people have, for sure. Alrighty. Well, so that first got you into cosplay. What kept you in cosplay? Like, what other cosplays have you done since then?
I've done Coulson from Marvel. I've done a couple Pokemon, including Sirfetch'd and Skeledirge, the final evolution of Fuecoco from Scarlet and Violet. I've also done Sub-Zero, Cloud from Final Fantasy, and Dipper from Gravity Falls. And I would say the main thing that keeps me is I get to meet so many people, and they become like lifelong friends that I keep in touch with through social media, and that kind of keeps me going, constantly wanting to improve on my craft, because I am friends with people who are professionals, and I'm just pretty much a filthy casual. I love doing it for fun, but maybe entering a contest every once in a while wouldn't be so bad.
Yeah, no, I saw you posting about that. That'd be really cool to do for sure. It kind of like give you a different feel for like some of the other ways that people use cosplay for their craftsmanship and whatnot. So it could be fun.
For sure.
Yeah. Well, okay, so out of all those, then which one's your favorite?
Ooh. I would have to say I had the most fun as Deadpool Bob Ross.
And why is that?
Just because I got to embody a character that not only has had so many different variations, but of the character, Deadpool Bob Ross is considered like one of the only decent human beings, so to be a decent version of someone who's considered like an anti-hero, it was just a lot of fun interacting with everyone.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. I love a good Bob Ross. I'm enjoying Deadpool as well. I don't see
Like, the wholesomeness of Bob Ross meets the crassness of Deadpool, and you have just a bunch of chaotic energy, and it's just fun to do.
Yeah, no, honestly. Um, so aside from that, what was the first convention that you ended up attending?
That would be Wizard World back in 2012.
Mm.
And the funny thing is, I actually knew about conventions all the way back in 2008, because back when G4 was still a TV channel, I would watch their coverage of E3 and San Diego Comic-Con. So that's kind of how I latched on to that. And then once I found out that there was a Comic-Con in New Orleans, my dad took me, and I just had a lot of fun. And 2 years later, I just started actually dressing up to cosplay, and that's pretty much how I got where I am today with that.
Nice. Nice. Yeah, you went to a con before I did. That's crazy. 2012 is damn near 12 years ago now.
Ooh, don't remind me.
Yeah. Crazy, right? What other conventions have you been to, and which one was your favorite?
I used to frequently go to MechaCon. I started going to that in 2015 because a friend invited me with a one-day pass, and ever since then, I have been going for the full weekend. And I also started more recently going to CypherCon.
That's a good one.
But I'm also familiar with cons that happen in like Texas, like Colossal Con just happened.
Yes.
But also further north, they have PAX East and Dragon Con and MomoCon and all that, which I unfortunately have not been able to go to, but I hope to be able to go one day just to travel outside to see how other conventions are outside of Louisiana.
You want to play Colossal for next year? Because I'm trying to go too. Like, I was really sad I didn't get to go.
There's a loop for that. I'd be open to go if my schedule's free, sure.
Yeah, it looked like a lot of fun. It's been really hot outside, and like just seeing people in their bathing suits. I was like, that's the only real way I feel like I could enjoy a con right now. Like trying to wear
Yeah, well,
in this.
I remember I saw a while ago, Bekukaz, formerly I Need Sugar 31, a couple years ago, posted something about what kind of con you would like to go to, and I asked about cons that happened on the beach or at a water park, and I think Colossal Con was one of the ones that came up.
Mhm. Yeah. I mean, they've always had the ones like up north and in the east, which I think is kind of ironic just for the fact that like we really need it one down south because it gets so hot down here.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
So yeah,
Definitely along like the coast, like
yeah.
not even just Louisiana, but also like Mississippi.
There was a con maybe like I went to it about 8 years ago called Fandom, and it was on the beach. I want to say it was kind of in between Panama and Pensacola. But that was really cool. It was actually November, and it was still nice enough to go out in your bathing suit and like go do photo shoots and everything. But it was chill enough to where you didn't have to like fight with like all the tourists and everything. So yeah, we should. I wish we had more stuff like that, but I know that the con like doesn't exist anymore. I guess it didn't do that well, or I don't know what happened to be honest. But yeah, so besides that, do you have any other cos plans coming up?
Actually, I feel like sometimes I have too many but I will name off a few. One thing I would like to do is I would like to remake my Cloud Stripe cosplay with like actual Eva foam. Cause I think the first time I made it, I just used like foam from old bedding and mattresses.
Oh wow.
So I'd really like to get my hands working with the foam and whatnot.
Mhm.
Also for the Buster Sword. And I actually had a friend recommend me a human version of Jiminy Cricket from Pinocchio.
Okay.
And the people in the comments seem to be loving that suggestion, so...
Yeah.
I also thought about doing a couple of D&D cross Pokemon, like maybe like a wizard or ninja Gengar, or maybe like a Darkrai variation.
No, those sound really cool actually.
So yeah, well, I also been wanting to get into D&D more, so if I can bring it into my cosplay, that's just another avenue for me to get introduced to people who know D&D and hopefully get myself going with that someday.
Yes. No, D&D is great. I will 100% always recommend playing D&D. It takes forever and it's a big time commitment, but it is a lot of fun. So, let's see. Sorry, I went off on a tangent thinking about D&D.
Oh no, you're fine. You're fine. You're good. You're good.
Yeah. So, what what is your favorite part about cosplay? Are you like a builder? Because I know you're talking about wanting to be at home. Or are you just like somebody who likes to do like, I guess, just the casual cosplay? Like, what's your favorite kind of way to cosplay? That was a really long-winded question. I'm sorry.
You're good. For me, it's about becoming the character because as an actor, we often have to picture ourselves in different mindsets to become the character.
Mm-hmm.
And cosplay, in a way, is sort of like doing casual theater, where even if it's just for a couple hours, you get to be this other person, interacting with other people who are also other persons. And it's just a whole lot of fun with the whole playing the part aspect of it.
Yeah. How do you feel when people like? I don't know. There are some people who will dress up and it's great, but they won't want anything to do with like kind of acting the part of the character. Is that like kind of weird to you or?
Not really. For me, it's different strokes for different folks. Like, coming from a very theater heavy background that I do,
Mm-hmm.
I know I will personally hone in more on the acting aspect more than most people.
Yeah.
But hey, just as long as you're having fun with it, that's kind of all that matters for cosplay. Like, no one's getting hurt, no one's being made fun of or being insulted to feel lesser. It's just, you do you for cosplay and everyone gets to have a good time no matter how much or how little that may entail.
Yeah. No, that's great. That's a great take on that for sure. For sure. So apart from cosplay then, do you have any other like hobbies that you enjoy doing? I know you obviously did say theater. Even beyond that, like is there anything you enjoy doing?
I enjoy gaming a lot. I've normally been a casual gamer, but ever since getting a Switch, I've been getting more into it.
Mm.
And also, I currently work with a script review company all the way in California. So, as someone who reads a lot of scripts, I have a voice in the back of my mind saying, hey, maybe just sit for like a day or two and write out some scripts of your own, whether it's short stories or brainstorming for longer scripts.
Mm. No, that's really cool. Wow, you got the connects.
Yeah, you can take the kid out of theater, but you can't take theater out of the kid. I am
Yeah.
living proof.
Have you ever thought about like performing at cons, like doing like panels with like performances and stuff? Just because I know, like you said, you love to do like acting. And
I I used to starting out, admittedly not as much anymore. Like, I think it was one of my first MechaCons, I was Dipper during a Gravity Falls panel,
mm-hmm.
and I had a lot of fun doing that.
Okay.
But admittedly, I haven't really gone back to doing it that much. Maybe that's something I could look into doing for the future. Like, just get a group of friends together and just do a panel.
I think that's something that anime conventions in general have kind of lost like a little bit of lately. I think that you get caught up so much in like seeing your friends and going to the dealer's room and just stuff like that that I do feel like panels sometimes get lost in the mix a little bit nowadays. So that would be good. Like I personally would really like to see more like unique acting panels and stuff in the future. Like, cause I guess it's because we feel like we've seen everything, you know, like, oh, we've seen a panel for this, we've seen a panel for that. So now we've kind of got to like take it an extra step further and be like, well, what else can we do to like make people really enticed to come see these things? And I think that'd be really cool. I would really enjoy like watching like a performance of something or whatnot for a panel.
I know for Rocky Horror Picture Show and Repo, they have shadow performances, I believe it's called.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, basically just more interactive stuff. Like, this past Fan Expo, I went to the late night showing of The Room they had Friday night, and they had a Q&A with one of the actors, Greg Sestero. and they had reading a scene from the first draft of the script. And then they had the actual showing of the movie itself, and everyone in the audience was just having a ball. It was so much fun. I don't think I've had that much fun watching a movie with people in a while. So yeah, definitely bring back the interactive audience of it, whether it's just a shadow performance or just having a lively audience during the movie. It can make all the difference.
No, I agree. Yeah, you do a little bit of like, hey, come see our panel. We'll be doing this. We'll be doing that. A little bit of advertising. You get the people through the door, and then, yeah. Hopefully the energy will come from there. Because, yeah, that's what we need. I think that would be a lot of fun. I think it'd be a good way to bring, like, newer anime fans back into, like, I don't want to say, like, our cringy days of the past, but, like...
We may be cringe, but we are...
I really enjoyed doing that stuff, so, yeah. I don't know. That'd be something that I think would be cool personally. But, yeah. So what cons are you planning for the future?
Definitely Fan Expo.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like right nearby that, and also I tend to go to CypherCon for my birthday. And I'm just mainly, I can't really specifically say it quite yet, but among like my bucket list cons, Dragon Con, New York Comic Con, and San Diego Comic Con. But as for more realistic cons to look to, probably PAX East, MomoCon, any number of conventions in Texas if I can get a group of people on board for it.
Okay. So, I do have to ask, because I forgot to ask this earlier, but like, what's your favorite thing? Like, do you like anime more? Are you more into comics? I know you said you really like gaming, like...
I'm just all around a pop culture fiend, I'll admit. Like, it used to be comics, but now it's just kind of shifted more towards sci-fi, also more into gaming.
Okay.
But I do also enjoy, on a more casual level, anime.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm just at the tail end of rewatching the latest season of My Hero Academia, and I've been having a good time with that.
Yeah, I heard it gets better. I need to rewatch.
Sure, for sure it does.
No, that's really good to hear. Like, being really well-rounded makes for a really fun time at a con, to be honest, so I get that. Is there anything that you would specifically tell cosplayers that are trying to get into the hobby?
I would say, honestly, as someone who suffers from generalized anxiety, I guarantee you are not alone. That way more people are dealing with struggles with anxiety than you might think. Just take a deep breath and have fun with it, and you will find your people. You will find true friends and people who will genuinely support you. And it might be breaking out of your comfort zone, but as someone who found their people through cosplay and theater, you will be so glad once you do. So just don't be afraid to take that first step.
Nice. No, those are great words of advice for sure. Well, can you go ahead and give us your socials again? That way we can find you.
You can find me on Instagram and Twitter and Hive as Comic Command 315. And I just want to say thank you so much for having me, because as someone who is more on the casual side, sometimes I do kind of get nervous. Like, even just having friends who do it more professionally, who even do it as a living, sometimes it does get intimidating, but I just remember all the great friends I've made and all the people who I'm going to meet. And reaching out and doing stuff like this is sort of a great way to help me break further into that. So I thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course. I mean, you're my friend. Like, I would want you to be on here if you wanted to be on here. So it was really nice to have you.
Once again, thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Of course. course, of course. Well, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and we will talk soon.
Of course. I look forward to it.
Bye.
Bye.